Hi! My name is Brooke.
And I'm Andrea.
And today we're going to be doing a financial analysis on Lennar Corporation and D.R. Horton, Inc.
Shareholders for both Lennar and Horton are mailing institutions, 84.77% for Horton and 94.86% for Lennar. The top two shareholders for both companies are Vanguard and BlackRock.
So one thing our investors care about is the cost of capital. Through debt, they have the advantage of tax savings and added discipline on the company, however, the disadvantage of increased expected bankruptcy costs and the loss of flexibility. First, we looked at cost of capital, which was 51.44 for Lennar and 30.22 for D.R. Horton, in comparison to their 40% and 60% optimal levels, respectively. The cost of capital was 13.82 for Lennar, with its optimal being 12.11, and 8.89 for D.R. Horton, with its optimal being 12.54%. We then looked at their cost of debt financing. Their pre-tax cost was 5.38 for Lennar and 4.45 for D.R. Horton. Their after-tax was 3.56% for Lennar and 2.87% for D.R. Horton. For their interest coverage ratios, we had 5.43 for Lennar and 2.88 for D.R. Horton, allowing them to easily pay back their interest on debt. And for their effective tax rates, we had 31.4% for Lennar and 34.5% for D.R. Horton. Lastly, we have their cost of equity financing, and through CAPM, we found that it was 8.06% for Lennar and 6.46% for D.R. Horton.
Lennar's 5-year monthly and 2-year weekly regression report are where you can find the R-square of 0.661 and the beta of 0.019. For the 2-year, the R-square is 0.764 and the beta is 0.024. For Horton, the 5-year regression report R-square is 0.707 and the beta is 0.020. For the 2-year regression report, the R-square is 0.707 and the beta is 0.025. Bottom-up beta approach is where you can find the weighted betas for both Lennar and Horton. For Lennar, the weighted beta is 1.05, and for Horton, the weighted beta is 1.09. The published beta values has the calculated 5-year monthly regression report betas compared against the published betas. For Lennar, we calculated the unlevered beta of 0.432. With this, we were able to calculate Hamada's equation of 0.463. For Horton, we calculated the unlevered beta of 0.478, with which we calculated Hamada's equation of 0.667.
Next, we look at our overall cost of capital. Through gathering figures from our financial statements, we found a weighted average cost of capital of 7.205 for Lennar and 5.1676 for D.R. Horton, Inc. Additionally, we looked at their overall capital structure and found that for Lennar, their debt-to-equity ratio and cost of equity was higher than the optimal value, and so by decreasing to these new values, they would actually have a decrease in their value per share. On the other hand, D.R. Horton, Inc. had a debt-to-equity ratio and cost of equity that was lower than their optimal level, and so by increasing to this level, which would be our recommendation, they would be able to increase their value per share. Lastly, we look at our competitors, which we chose KB Homes and Havanian Enterprises, which are both homeowners within the United States. Although many of the figures were very similar, one thing we noticed is that for Havanian Enterprises, their cash percentage for total assets is much greater than the other three companies, and they actually have a negative stockholders' equity, which differs greatly from the other three home builders.
The following price valuations were calculated using both companies' 2016 financial statements. When compared the calculated prices to the stock price compared against was the December 30th, 2016 stock price. Using the enterprise valuation model, both companies were undervalued when compared against the December 30th, 2016 stock price. Using the dividend discount model, Lennar was overvalued and Horton was undervalued when compared against the December 30th, 2016 stock price. The intrinsic value for both companies was undervalued, and the averages for both companies calculated that both companies are undervalued when compared against the December 30th, 2016 stock price.
We would recommend D.R. Horton over Lennar because they have a lower cost of debt, equity, and weighted average cost of capital. Through increasing to their optimal level, they would have an increase in their stock price and enterprise valuation. And because they are undervalued as of December 30th, 2016, they are a good purchase. Thank you.